Gideon was already the strongest man on Earth, and lived in a world where only the strongest abilities were obtained by killing others. However, he was expelled from the hero group because he pretended to be weak. So he decided to become a pharmacist and live in the field, where he met a girl willing to do everything to be by his side, and they began to live together. A man comes begging Red, who is Gideon's fake name, to come help a child who is sick. Red runs to the room and finds the child extremely sick, needing a drug that is not available. He knows where to find it and decides to risk leaving the safe zone to get the medicine for the child. When he leaves the place, he activates his speed and we have an intense Parker scene. He finds a forest on fire and crosses it to find blood needles that cure the child. However, a bear attacks him, but Red jumps and cuts him, killing him. Members of another group find him, and one of them recognizes his sword style. Red brings the medicine, and the child is cured of his illness. The doctor thanks Red, the brave adventurer, and he will have the pleasure of buying him medicine, since he is the only traveling pharmacist. 4 months later, the heroine, Rit, hears that there is a celebration right now. She asks what the occasion is, and the lady tells him that Red is throwing a party, and that he is a specialist in herb collection, is celebrating the opening of his new pharmacy. Rit seems intrigued by this. The next day, Rit enters his pharmacy and sees him, recognizing him. Gideon also recognizes her. They start to dine together. Gideon remembers that she is a princess from a foreign nation. She asks why her name is Red, because Red and Rit sound very similar, and he tells her that he couldn't think of anything else, so he based it on her. She is happy that he still thinks and remembers her. He says he was expelled from the group, and she is surprised because he was the only one who kept the rest together. They remember the moments they spent together, and Rit remembers having lost all the members of her group and crying over it. He asks if she is hungry, and she says she is starving. He says he's going to get something for her to eat and prepare something. She asks if she can work with him, and that surprises him. She says that the names Apothecary Red and Rit have a pleasant touch. He says he can't hire her because he doesn't have any clients. She says she will take care of the store while he looks for the herbs. She says his business will grow and asks if he does something special. He shows his multiplying power, but she calls him stupid because it could break the economy. She thinks it's a relief that he can be stupid sometimes, because she thought he was a calm and multi-talented who never made mistakes, and that made her feel far from him. She tells him that she feels happy to meet him. He shows her analgesics that are not addictive, and she tells him that he is very smart for that. He says she can come whenever she wants, that can't pay much, but that she would appreciate the help. She says they will never separate. Later they eat well, and Rit loves it. She says she will like his food every day, and he thinks cooking will be more fun. She tells him that they are going to build a bathtub and that she will pay for it. He says he doesn't want her to spend so much with him, replies that it doesn't matter because she will use it. This confuses him, but she continues to say she will also buy another bed tomorrow. He tells her that it looks like she's changing. The next day, he wakes up on the floor and looks to see a little plot next to him, and watches the eggs he will eat for breakfast. He asks her if she slept well, and she says she's used to it, so she didn't sleep well. He says he got the bed for almost nothing, but she says that's not why she had trouble sleeping. He prepared a delicious meal for her, and they will go out to buy a bed to sleep together. She says she only wants a very low salary, thinks it's reasonable since she will live with him. He realizes that it is too little for someone like Rit, and tells her to accept, realizing that she already planned to live with him, so it doesn't make him pay much. He thanks her, and she doesn't know why. They enter the mattress store, and Stormy is confused because Reddy is with her. She says she moved in with Reddy and is there with him to buy a mattress. Goblin is so scared that he is speechless. He then acts gently with Rit, and Reddy tells that he wasn't so nice to him the last time he was here. Stormy says he whined for 30 minutes for the cheapest mattress. She says she wants a couple's bed, but he tells her to make a single bed. Stormy calls him a loser, and Rit calls him a coward. They will receive the bed soon. Rit tells him that she liked the stormy store, and Reddy explains it is because he has the blessing of a craftsman at the highest level. Reddy continues to explain that everyone receives a blessing at birth, and they can only raise it in one way: fight and kill someone who has a blessing. He sees children fighting, and one tries to throw a stone. He tells the boy to run away, saying that he should be more mature for his age. The children run away, and Reddy asks Stormy if everything is okay. Stormy tells her friend that Reddy is one of her adventurous friends. Rit comes in, and Stormy asks why they are together. She says they started living together recently. They go together to approve the new analgesic, but the director tells them that they came at the worst time. Because the previous analgesic is in the black market and is being misused, he says he will personally approve her analgesic since it is Rit, and this makes them very happy. Rit says she is happy to have helped him and that she would do anything for him. She pulls him by the arm. They get home and realize that they need a success remedy for the store to take off, because it would take a long time for their analgesic to be known. They eat well together and realize there has never been a shop that served food. He then puts a nutritional supplement in apple jelly and starts making and baking cookies. They taste them, and by chance, they are tasty. The next day, Rit offers samples to everyone and says to try them because they cure colds. People are caught by surprise. Rit also asks a person at the store if she would like to try, but he doesn't want to, saying she heard that this pharmacy offers cookie medicine and that her son doesn't like it. Reddy offers a sample. She tries it and loves it. Before they realize it, the store is full. They sell all the medicinal cookies they had. They shake hands, and Reddy grabs her by the waist and carries her. This makes Rit very happy, and they start celebrating together. She says she is happy to be able to help him. Reddy says he will never forget a word she says. Meanwhile, the group of heroes that expelled Reddy is in trouble. The big guy is furious for all the time they lost in the middle of the desert. He says he's mad he got rid of Reddy because they never had problems when Reddy was around. The man says he will leave this group because it is useless and that he made a fatal mistake by expelling the divine heroine. Reddy's sister leaves the tent. He tells her he wants to look for Reddy, and she says he can go look for Reddy. The next day, he wakes up with more pot and good eggs in the coffee. This time, he wants to put his sausage and bacon in the eggs. He is happy to live this life with her instead of a future of killing. A man enters the store and Reddy asks what medicine he is looking for. He tells Reddy he wants the truth about the bear he saw. He knows the wound came from a blind blade, like Reddy's. He threatens him again and Reddy says it's not him. He puts the knife in his head and says he wanted to invite him to the party. Richie enters, breaking his sword and destroying it. Reddy stops her and she says she can kill him for pointing the sword at Reddy. Reddy tells her he just asked him to join the group and Richie tells him to leave. He runs away and Richie asks if he's okay. She worries about him for not defending himself, but says he knew the soldier would stop at the last second. Reddy warns her to be more careful with the hydromal because it could have spoiled. They have another lovely dinner together and are happy to have started living together. She remembers they still need a bathroom and she would love a large bathroom big enough for both. He asks if she would like to go to a sauna for now and she says she would love it. The next day, at the sauna, there is an intense male competition. Reddy is confused about how this is happening and how it became a resistance test. Storm tells him he should have taken a double, not a simple, and Reddy thinks they should take care of their lives. They start to hunt him for being so cowardly, but explodes and tells them to take care of their lives. This scares them and they stay quiet. Storm starts to weaken and says he's very hot. He then corrects himself and says that summers are too hot and that citizens only lie down, sleep, and are lazy. The grey-haired man challenges him, saying he never lived in Zoltan, asking not to invent anything because they are lazy in winter too. They continue to challenge each other and Reddy gets up and reveals his male plan. He heats the sauna even more and Gantz finally faints. They realize there are no customers and the old man tells them about a new and expensive sauna where everyone is going. They try to encourage him by buying drinks. Heat sees this and loves to see people helping each other. At home, they think about how to save his sauna. They ask Reddy if he has any ideas and Reddy starts to think. Tanta says the tea smells amazing and Reddy realizes he has an idea. He goes back to the sauna and shows that he brought a potpourri and explains
It is a bag
that
full of herbs to use in the sauna, which can heal and
he says
smell
that
very
if it
well.
works, he will have a constant supply. They put it in the sauna and the old man realizes that this can help him keep the business because the big boss don't have it. They are happy to be able to help him and he offers them a free bath for it. The girls then decide to come in to start developing the plot. They tell him that they are both here because they wanted to share the sauna with him. He asks why their plan is so exposed and that now is married. She tells him that her husband doesn't need to know. He starts to leave, but Heat tells him to stay with them. Nal says that a real man would accept the offer and laugh at them for sitting next to each other healing. Nal tells Heat that Reddy is one of the best men she could choose and Reddy is dying of heat. He doesn't understand how women can stand so much heat. Pushes her plot against him and he finally dies. The sauna battle resumed. They praise Reddy for his idea, but the storm is starting to fall apart. Nal comes in and the storm falls. They return home happy that their clients can return. Heat is surprised that he can find such gratifying things. Nal and her husband say goodbye and Heat tells him that their family is adorable. Back, she explains that she bought hydromel because, in her country, newlyweds took a month off to drink hydromel together. She says that, remembering this, she felt like drinking hydromel with him. Reddy and her decide to go home. The next day, a group of men appears at the door. They say they want to meet Heat. He says that he knows her well to answer for her and that they will have to wait to talk to her. The man says that he is daring to make them wait, but that they will wait for her. He warns her about who is waiting for her. She says she will make them wait even more. She goes out to meet them and a man enters the store. Reddy recognizes him from the Thieves Guild. He offers him an elven coin that is worth $1 million in Reddy's coin in exchange for him cutting ties with Reddy. Tells him that it is very cheap and that billions would be enough for him to give up staying with Reed. He says he knows that the thieves are trying to buy this coin because Reed is worth a lot more. The old men ask Reed the problem, but she says she retired from this terrible life and that she only wants to stay with Reddy and will leave the city if they continue to bother Reddy because they have a vital contract together. Reddy hears this and says that he is happy that she said that. He asks for her hand and she offers it, and he gives a gift saying that it is an advancement of life. She sees that there is an amber gem in it and that she may have the wrong idea about it. He tells her that he would give her something better and asks what would be her favorite gem. She tells him that she would love anything he gave her. Reddy is happy to finally have the chance to be with someone he loves. She remembers the adventures they had together and an elf who was a friend of Reddy. They walked and Reed was jealous of it. Reddy asked if she was okay, but she told him to worry because he doesn't need his concern. He says she's right and that annoys her. The elf tells her that there is a lake ahead and they should take a bath there, a body of water. You know what that means. Trauma. And even more elf trauma. The elf girl tells him that she shouldn't be mad at Gideon whenever she's jealous and that she should show him that she loves him more instead. Reed asks if she is also in love with Gideon, but she says she can't fall in love with humans because they would die before her, and comforts her that she won't steal her man. She remembers having left Gideon and staying to protect the nation, but having to move away from the man she loves. She is now with him again and is happy to have this opportunity. The next day, Reddy comes in and sees a man passed out with some substance on the floor. He tells the doctor to give him an antidote and Reddy explains that he mastered his first aid skill. They take the man back to the clinic and treat him. The doctor explains that this is from a drug that was recently approved and that had been around killing people. He thanks Reddy for his quick work saving the man and asks him for a bigger antidote. He returns home and Reed is hungry, and she tells she would love him to make an omelette, and he makes one for her that she appreciates. She tells him that the food is good and hot, and if I were Red I would like to eat it food juicy. Meant food. He tells her that he would like to take her to the river for a barbecue. They enter Drake's and start running towards the river. They cool down drinks in the river and Reddy sets up a tent and she asks him to look at her and he appreciates the view. They enter the pool and start to sneeze. They sit and relax next to each other and realizes that he has nothing to say to her. They start laughing because they have no way with each other and Reddy thinks she should be used to it. She thinks he called her experienced, but he found her very direct when she came to his store. She tells him that she was worried that he had forgotten her or rejected her. She hugs him and tells him to enjoy the moment. Then he bows and kisses him, telling him that she would like to move forward in their relationship. At night, the couple's bed finally arrived. The plot is about to develop to the extreme. Reddy lies in bed and hugs her and she hears that her heart is beating. She kisses him and starts to develop the plot. He says he likes her hands and kisses her. For the first time in the entire anime, the man is about to develop the plot. Reddy tells her to wait for another day since Wow is still with them and they agree to wait and sleep. A storm rages outside and Reddy and Richie drink warm milk with honey. The doctor knocks on the door and sees that Wow is bleeding a lot. Him and Wow wakes up screaming someone was going to kill her parents with an axe. Reddy runs to their house seeing that they are both alive but unconscious due to a strong blow. Reddy knows that this attack will cause more problems because Demi, the city's leader's son, has disappeared. And the citizens thought the government was covering the city's leader and see him waiting so long unnoticed because he was being questioned. The leader apologizes for the way they question him so much but tells them that it was necessary. He tells them that he couldn't find a reason to believe that Demi was involved in it. Reddy says he may have been caused by the substance that has circulated. The man screams, refuting that there was any possibility of his son doing such a thing, and they decide to leave. At the pharmacy, a strange man approaches Wow, and later that night, Wow tells him about his meeting and how he received a strange sword, but he doesn't even know if he wants to become a hero or if he was influenced by his blessing to listen to his blade and what it asks him to do. Meanwhile, Rit knocks a man down from the top of a building and the man sees her plan well and explodes, leaving a green substance all over her. 3 bandits attack her and she realizes that she can't take the sword. A strange man arrives, defending her, and he reveals himself to be Darnan herself. And most importantly, her plan, because that's half of the show. He says he came to get Gideon and reveals that these bandits are demon hunters. He says he wants their help to clean up this city, but doesn't want Gideon to know about his presence here. He smiles cynically. Rit goes home and sits down with Gideon, and he starts to grow. That's not part of this show. She tells him she wants to take a bath with him to relax. He tells her that soon they can take a bath together. But first he wants to show her Wow's sword, and she inspects it with her magic. She says it looks like an ordinary sword, but there's a spell that reveals to the creator the location of the carrier. Red finds this suspicious and asks himself why they would take it. Rit hugs Red, saying she's worried and doesn't know how long they can live in peace. He tells her they'll live together forever. She kisses him on the cheek, saying she wants to be with him forever too. In the morning, Rit walks around the city with a cloak and goes to a well where she is cornered by men who think she is Wow. They ask her to go with them to the leader of the thieves, but she reveals and tells them she used the spell to locate the sword. She begins to attack them, using her superior agility to jump on them and knock them out. The last remaining man turns into an axe demon and begins to attack her. Meanwhile, at the boutique, the evil man returns. He tells them that in fact they arrested Rit and are one step ahead. A masked man arrives and prevents Al from reviving. They throw Al in the Thieves Guild, and he tells Al that he is the mentor behind all this. He was the one who flooded the market with the substance drove people crazy because it is made of the devil's blessing. He says that the blessing allows them to choose a new one, changing their entire life instead of a miserable life imposed against their will by the blessing. He reveals a Demi, and the leader tells Al that this was part of their plan, saying that he heard the people's complaint and that they wanted justice for those who hurt Al's parents. He demanded justice and effort to capture a Demi, the city leader. He then tells them that he will help them achieve justice for a better life, and brings a Demi out. They knock down a Demi and deliver a blade to Al. The leader tells them that a Demi's head will bring a revolution that will change the world.
Ao is confused because Ademi was forced to hurt
Parents against his own will because of the Thieves Guild. He continues to convince Ao that Ademi is his enemy, and Ao is ready to attack him, but look at his sword. He prepares his weapon, but cuts Ademi's strings. Ao tells him that his cut Ademi, and that he will be the one to decide who to kill. The evil man reveals an axe, and Ademi begins to lose control. The devil's blessing causes an impulse to kill whenever he sees the axe. However, Red appears out of nowhere and prevents Ademi. He tells them that they never took a step in front of him. Ao grabs him. He activates mastery in acrobatics and does not suffer fall damage. Albert approaches and seems to be on the side of the thieves. He draws his weapon at full speed, but Red deflects it and defends the attacks. Albert realizes that Red has a much higher patent than he says. Albert reveals that he also made a contract with a demon to make life more rewarding and fight against the demon lord. Albert asks him to join him to become the strongest champion, but Red says he has no interest in it, and city guards begin to surround them, revealing that this was part of his trap. Albert wonders why he did this, and Red just a pharmacy owner and does not want to bank the hero. With all his strength towards Red. Red tells him that being a hero is more than just physical, and that he wanted Albert to be the hero of this city. Nobody wanted to be a hero more than Albert, and the best hero for this city if he had not given in to his desires. Tell the residents that he forgave Ademi because he was just being controlled. He tells them that he forgave Ademi and that everyone should just go home with them. The inhabitants of the city realize that if Ao was able Ademi, then everyone else has no reason to fight. A strange man approaches the leader of thieves and makes him reveal his true identity. He then confronts Hood, saying that there is a way for her to defeat the demon lord and show the demonic blessing. He says that she lowers the current blessing, allowing it to rise faster and then restore it. This excites her because she thinks she can finally use it to see her brother. Meanwhile, Rich and Red think of a way to make more money at the pharmacy. Rich tells them about the hand warmers they used to use in her city. With the cold starting to arrive, Red distributes hand warmers as free samples. At the end of the night, he meets the Lady Giant rocket launcher and she hands him the gloves. The snow begins to fall around them, and they walk until they see a bench. They decide to sit down together, and Rich asks if he's going to do something with her. Red throws his cape over her, covering her and hugging her. They lie down next to each other, and she tells him that if he continues to look at her, he will lose the snow falling. He tells her that this is the only time there will be snow in the middle that falls. She then tells him that there is no one here, and he lowers the blanket and kisses her. Meanwhile, Hood arrives in town and meets Goblin so that he can do the devil's blessing for her. Rich and Red go to a lunatic who is sick. Rich covers his eyes and advances with his own plan. Rich tells her to dress up, and she says she will. She dresses up. The next day, Hood decides that he wants to cure him without using his powers. Then his partner tells him about a pharmacy in the city that also sells hand warmers. Hood enters the pharmacy, and she finally sees her brother and hugs him. Hood asks why he left the party, and he says he went out to see the Lord of the Demons. However, she tells him that Ares told her a different story, and this bothers Red because Ares broke his promise. He reveals the truth for having left, and she tells him that he will also live in this city from now on. Rich enters, sees Hood and is shocked. Face each other intensely, and Rich asks what he is going to do. That he will stay here and touch this store with her. Hood tells her not to worry, because she is also moving here. Hood begins to give in to go against the blessing of the hero, and drinks the devil's blessing to weaken her again. At sunset, Rich tells him that he should go and support Hood. So he will be with Hood when she needs it, saving this world. She holds his hand, saying they would talk about it with Hood. The next day, Rich decides to have a deep discussion about anime fashion. They decide to have an intense battle of plots in the bathroom. Hood asks her if she took a shower with her brother, and Rich says Hood yes. Says her brother has never changed and has always been much stronger than her. She tells her about when she was 5 years old and how the heroine had to save someone. A giant bear came to kill her, but she had to save whoever was in front of her. Hood was knocked down and put out of combat, but she still healed. She kept trying to attack the owl bear, but was knocked down again. She thought she would continue to suffer like this if she survived, and people would think she was just a strange and scary child. She thought it was enough, but wanted to keep seeing her brother. She shouted for her brother to help her. He hugged her, apologizing for taking so long to get to her. Hood tells her that this made her happy, and that it is these memories that allow her to continue living. She no longer feels sensations like warm the taste of hot milk she drank with him. The only reason she likes these things is because they remind her of the happiness she felt when sharing with her brother. Hood tells Rit that she was jealous of her getting closer and closer to her brother, and that she wanted to be able to get closer to him too, but only moved away. The next day, Rit and Hood's companion go out to find a way to help her, and Red is missed by Danon in the city. They meet, and Danon tells him that Gideon was a force that managed to keep the whole group together, and that he was a real man. Gideon tells him that he can't go back to him. Danon realizes that he left the group on his own. Red tells him that Hood is here, and Danon will help Hood. Red gets scared seeing that Danon doesn't have the right arm and asks what caused it, but Danon simply moves away. Ares is also in the city, and a person knocks on the door and tells Ares that Gideon is in the city. Danon asks where the hero is, but Ares refuses to say. He begs Danon to take him to the drugstore, and that he will ruin Red's life for messing with him and the hero. They go to the drugstore and destroy all the potions and break everything in the store. He takes a knife and tears the bed, destroying the bed they slept in. Danon says it was all a waste of time, but smiles to himself. Meanwhile, Danon runs with Red and tells the story of how he lost his right hand. Heath and T are riding the dragons, and Red reaches them. Heath tells her that he has seen Danon, that he feels bad for not telling him before. He asks if she noticed anything strange, and she says there wasn't. Red realized that she was trapped because the Danon he met had the whole arm. Red tells her that Danon's right hand was bitten by the demon lord. So the person she probably saw was the demon lord, assuming his form after consuming Danon's arm. Red tells her that he will fight alongside because if this continues, his life will be unbearable, and he wants to live a peaceful life. She agrees, with her, stating that she will become the rich champion again. Red runs to a cave and finds Godwin there. He asks where Ruddy is but refuses to answer. He holds his arm behind his back and makes him scream, making Ruddy come to him. He reveals that Tis told him about the devil's blessing, and that he has also been looking for a way to suppress her blessing all this time. She asks why he has done this, since all life he has only tried to save the world. He says he has done all this all his life because she is precious to him. He has prepared himself all his life to always be by her side and she make feels her upset, knowing that she has done everything she shouldn't just to be with Gideon, and asks him to forgive her. He comforts her, hugging her. They meet Tis and Rich, but a flood of eyes attacks them and Ruddy attacks him. They run to the fountain and find Ares at the end. He tells them that he will do everything to be by Ruddy's side. He tries to attack Red, throwing him against the wall and crushing him. He tells Ruddy to come back to him, but she stabs him in the place, saying he won't die, but it's better to stay away from them forever. The man in the form of Danon transforms. He gives a potion of cure to Ares, saying help him bring the hero back to his side with a special weapon hidden underneath. Danon manages to enter the place with Theodora, and she tells him to apologize for any decisions he may make. Danon doesn't understand but runs ahead, destroying the walls, while the metamorph walks with Ares, but Danon appears and throws the blade at him. They start attacking each other, uses his only arm to push him away Danon then tells him that he got stronger with his left hand thanks to the bite he suffered, and then punches him, throwing him and destroying him against the wall. He asks Ares for help, and Ares doesn't know if he should attack Danon. However, he ends up sending an electric dart towards stopping him in place, and the Lord of the Demons manages to stab Danon. The Lord of the Demons finally transforms his true form and begins to attack Danon, but he manages to block his swords and break them with his fingers. However, a blade enters Danon's chest once again with the Lord of the Demons' foot. Ares realizes that he is calm, not because the first time he has betrayed a friend. Ares and the Lord of the Demons go down the stairs, and he sees the killers of the sacred demons. There should only be one, but the Demon King hid 5. He tells them that they are the Sacred Avengers. and that the heroine is actually a replica, just like her sword. If he wants Rude to be a heroine again, she must wield a sacred avenger. And all his human ties, his relationship with Gideon, must be broken, killing him. The metamorph appears in front of Reed, and she begins to attack Red helps her, but Ares begins to attack them with flame projectiles. Rude blocks his attacks, saying that he will forgive him if he surrenders now. They invoke their abilities against each other, but they cancel each other. Tries to escape to save his life, but a dragon comes and saves him. Arbut meets Danan and gives him a potion to drink. Meanwhile, Rude invokes a little redemon that devours Ares and the Lord of the Demons. He realizes that Rude is stronger than the previous heroes. Thunder comes from below, and Theodora ties Reed down. She begins to attack Rude, and Rude asks why. Theodora says she was following her because she should be the heroine, but she deviated from it. They clash with each other, and Rude deviates and jumps away. A dragon comes and steps on Reed, and Theodora even if Gideon is the strongest and most alive swordsman, he cannot save his loved ones without the hero. Reed kicks the dragon away, calling Theodora's reasoning absurd because she is putting Rude in a position against her will. The dragon begins to attack Reed, and Gideon saves her. Ares puts a trap on them, and Theodora tries to attack, but is prevented. Tries to reach them, but the Lord of the Demons blocks it, and Rude are falling, about to be crushed. However, Danon appears, stating that he will never allow his companions to perish. Fist that rises and throws Red and Reed high. Ares invokes an electric dart against him, tries to protect him, but ends up feeling a lot of pain. Tissy managed to trap him with the spider, and Gideon finally cuts his arms and kills him. Rude had her sword broken by the Lord of the Demons, who trains his hunters to attack her. She continues to stop him, but he knocks her down with a kick. She throws her blade at him, asking if it was that she wanted to live her life normally. He tells her that it is because this world needs a hero for humanity. She tells him that a fire of anger burns her inside, and that makes him stay on the defensive. She advances at incredible speeds, punching her 4 demon killers, breaking them, and then knocking him down. However, he is happy to have managed to make her hold one of these sacred avengers, as she has now lost her head. She returns ready to kill her own brother. However, while she hits, he blocks her with his bronze sword to kick the sword away from her. She hugs him crying, and he comforts her. They return home together. Rude feels the snow for the first time because the heroine's blessing is gone and she can have normal feelings again. They relax on the grass, and Rude asks if they will stay together forever. He says he will never leave her again. The next few days, Rich tells Red that she has been worried that he will leave the next morning. She says he has the blessing of the guide, and that he always wants to help everyone achieve their goals. She fears that he wants to guide someone else, leaving the store and their bed, even more so after everything is destroyed. He says he needs her, that she is the only reason for him to return the store and the bed. He says he remembers when they met again, and there were things he didn't know, but that made her happy. He says he was far from being perfect, but she still wanted to be with him. He says he can guide someone until he can do it alone, but because she still wanted to be with him, no matter how much guidance he needed. He tells her that it is the end of her journey, that he will be with her forever, and that he loves her more than she can imagine. At night, she sits in bed and he starts to cheat on her. She tickles him and pushes him, accidentally revealing his plan. She asks if he saw her personality, and he says it was amazing. She tells him that something is missing and gets up. She develops the situation and stands in front of him. She then hugs him, and he tells her that he can no longer contain himself. She feels the same, and they made it this far. He is a supreme man. Develop the whole plot of the world. So let's get together and confuse all the haters who will never feel the plot. Let's fill the comments saying rest in peace, Doctor. He was a true hero. Only true legends will comment on this. Thanks for finishing this beautiful journey with me. See you next time.